Hey, how are you doing? This is Jasmin here from Doetinchem in the Netherlands, and I am making another video, and this one is about my newest book that I've written just recently, this weekend, and I've written it in Dutch, and I've also published it in Dutch, and I still have to translate it into English. But if I translate the title, it would be The Ultimate Winning Strategy for Writers, so for authors. And by now I've written 24 books, and I have translated 11 also into English, and I've self-published them with multiple companies, so that they are now available in about 190 countries worldwide, and I have earned 381 euros in royalties by now. Well, actually a bit more, because the royalties of this month still have to be paid out, but anyway, I've donated most of that money to various charities, and that was in a period of about 9 months, and we can speak of a small success in being an author, and the book that I wrote last weekend is about how I have created that small success, and how you can do that too, and how you can then repeat it and enlarge it, because if you have done something once, you can also do it a second time. You just repeat what you did, and you can also think about and look for ideas to enlarge it. So that is what my newest book is about. My main my main business is selling greeting cards door to door on behalf of the establishment Hyro, which I have founded in 2015. So the writing is kind of my second business that I do. I have added, well, because this will be an audiobook, that's not very important, but for the people who are who are going to see this as a video preview. It might be so. I've here added another lamp so that the screen is more lighter and better visible. And I will do my best to watch more into the lens of the camera. I forget that sometimes. I have also, because I've self-published my books with several companies, I've done that to reach more people and to make my books available in more stores around the world. And with some of them you get, when you have published your book, you get some promotional tools like links and of those how do you call it, like pre-written kind of messages that you can share via your emails and via your social media and so on. And you also get a press release that you can send to the local presses, like the newspapers and the radio and so on. And I have done that, of course, maybe once, twice, 3 times or so, but they haven't used my press releases to write articles about it in the newspapers, as far as I know, anyway. And if you want, like, to have paid articles, or how do you call these things? It's what like it's also a sort of an article, but it is more meant to sell than just inform. I can't now remember what it is called. But anyway, if you want to have these paid articles in the newspaper, then you pay like 88 euros for just a quarter of a page. And because of that and also some other reasons, I've started my own newspaper, and I've published, and we are distributing the first edition of it. But anyway, my point was this: if you are also having these pre-made press releases, and you're sending them to the to the local newspapers and radios and so on, and you are not getting into the newspaper and you want to be interviewed, but it doesn't happen. You can like ask someone that you know who has an interest in you and in what you do and in your work and who knows you. Just ask them to interview you, and then you can publish that interview on your blog and on your social media and so on. And then maybe it won't be labeled like a official interview or whatever, but who cares about that? It's important for you to get under the attention of people who like to read books. So that's a possibility for you that you can do. And of course, if you want to be front page news and as often as you want to, you can always start your own newspaper. So that's also a possibility for you. Okay, because the book that I've written is in Dutch and I haven't translated it yet into English, I will in this recording I will share with you like the main points of the book, and I've made some notes of the main points to share with you in this video, but because it's in Dutch, I will go a bit slower because I have to translate it as we go along. So if you don't mind that, just grab yourself some coffee or something and just relax and enjoy. If you are bright, then also have some paper and a pen or a pencil handy so you can make some notes. And after we have gone through the main points of my newest book, then I would like to share with you this interview that I did with someone that I know, and I asked him, and he had 11 questions, and I've answered them, and they're all about writing. So in that interview you will also discover some tips about writing for yourself that you can use, but that is also in Dutch, so I will have to I've here printed it out, and I will have to translate it to you as we go along, so we will go a bit slower but like I said, if you don't mind that, then just relax and we'll get started with it. And of course, this will also be like kind of an audio book, maybe a short audio book about writing and about increasing your success as a writer. So of course the goal of this whole recording is to help you to do the things that I did as a writer, and to also receive that kind of money in royalties, and then after that you can always repeat the things that you did that worked, and you can repeat the same success as many times as you want, and you can also enlarge it. So if you are ready for it, then let us get started. So one of the things that I cover in my book is that I have self-published my books with several companies. I will name a few in case you maybe haven't heard of them, and so you can also self-publish there. I have self-published with lulu.com, and which is actually kind of a great one, because you can self-publish there, and you can make an ebook out of your book. You can also make a paperback, and you can also make like a deluxe edition of your paperback, and you get there like an author page, which they call a spotlight, and on it you can add more of your books in different versions and different editions. You can add your biography, you can add your logo or your company's logo. You can add a link to your website, and if you have like more than one website, you can add multiple links there, and you can also add a video. So, and yeah, when you self-publish a paperback, and you buy or you order like your first copy of it, that you can then proofread to see if the quality is as good as you want it to be. Then after that you can get global distribution, which is free, and then your book goes to Ingram Book Company, and that is like this very big you call it, a very big bookseller, which makes your book available to thousands of bookstores in the world. So that's also a great thing about self-publishing with Lulu. And and you also can choose what kind of license you want. So I've always chosen for a standard license, so that I keep the rights of my work for the next 50 years, and I recommend that you do the same thing. Okay, and then there is of course Amazon. Then you can publish or self-publish with their subsidiary Kindle Direct Publishing, and you can make ebooks and paperbacks. And also on Amazon you get yourself an author page on which you can add your bio and your books, and also some pictures and videos if you would like. Then there is also kobo.com, and they are there you can self-publish your work as e-books. They've made it very simple and very easy to self-publish your book with them, and in 4 easy steps. And when you do, then they make it then they make your ebook available in 190 countries worldwide. So that is really a great thing about Kobo, and I recommend that you self-publish there. And if you are like me, if your main language that you speak is other than English, for example, you live in Germany or in Belgium or whatever, and you self-publish with Kobo, that is a good thing. But then I recommend that you translate your books into English, because a lot of people in the world speak English, and only a small part of them speak Dutch or German. And Kobo has also one great other thing, and that is that you can opt in your books into Kobo Plus. So they have that's the subscription service that they offer, and a reader who likes to read ebooks pays like €9.99 or dollars a month, and then with that they can read about 200,000 ebooks. So if you have self-published with Kobo, you also want to make them available with that subscription service, which is Kobo Plus. And when people who who read ebooks with that subscription, when they have finished reading your ebook, then you get royalties paid for that. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but most of that 381 euros that I received in royalties, most of that was from this subscription service, the Kobo Plus. And there were also some individual titles sold, but most of it came from Kobo Plus. So I highly recommend it to you. And then there is also Barnes and Noble Press. Because they have like a lot of bookstores in America. You might want also to self-publish with them. That's Barnes and Noble Press. And since recent, I've also been looking to self-publish with more companies to reach more people, and I have also self-published with publishdrive.com and streetlib.com and also leanpub.com. So you also want to self-publish there. And then there is also another one, and that is called gumroad.com, and that is great because you can also publish your audiobooks there as well, if you have them on MP3 and MP3. You can. This is like really a great thing, because you can, if you have your book written or you have it as a PDF on your laptop, you can just get your phone, and if you have one with a recorder that can record for an hour or longer, then you just sit there with your book, and you click on your recorder on your telephone, and you start reading your book, and you record yourself. And then when you are finished, you will have it as a recording on your phone. And then if you have like this USB cable, then you can put the file onto your laptop, and then I don't know what kind of phone you have, so I don't know what the file then would be called, but with me it was called 3GA or something like that. And then on the internet I found that you can convert that file into an MP3, and that was for free. So I did that. I have like that. I have recorded my book Double Your Profits while on my phone, and then I put that file, that audio file on my laptop. Then on the internet with this free service, I had converted that file from a 3GA into an MP3, and that MP3 I have self-published on gumroad.com, and now you can buy that audiobook there. So which is really exciting, and it is of course very cost effective to do. So you might want to consider that. Okay, oh yeah, there is one more, but they are not like the other self-publishers. They are a bit different. It is called noisetrade.com, and you can publish your ebooks there and also your audiobooks. But they are offered like for free to the people, so that you can use as a promotion of your work, because you can like publish there the first half of your books, for example. You can also publish there the first half of your audiobook if you want, but you can also publish the whole thing if you want. Is however you want to do it. And if the people who are reading it and listening to it, if they like it, they can like leave you a tip on your PayPal account, which is kind of a cool thing. And you keep your rights, and you can always like how do you call it? You can always erase your account there whenever you choose. So for promotional purposes of your work, for people that don't know you and that don't know your books, you might you can publish some stuff on Noisetrade and then promote it, and have some free books for people, and if they like it, they can leave you a tip, and and they can from there they can also go to your website or another website where they can get the whole book or another book or your series or however. So you can also consider doing that. Okay, there's another thing that I did, that is when I have my book finished, and then on my author page or on the product page, most of the times you have like these share buttons, so then you can share it on your social media, on whichever one you use. The most common are Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, I think, but there are many more. And then also, if you have like a Facebook profile and you have some people there that your Facebook friends, then you can share this your newest project with them by sending them a message and so on. And you can also like make yourselves a fan page for your readers, where you can post your new work, and where you can post videos, and your leave me a tip PayPal link, and you can connect with people, with readers. You can talk to them, you can share your new releases and so on. So you can also do that. But I have on Monday, that was yesterday, I have made this kind of fan page for my readers on Facebook. It is Jasmin Hydro Books and Fans. I've had something like that before, but that was only in Dutch, so now I have one that is in English also. Yeah, that I have made only yesterday. The other one that was in Dutch I had for a while before that. But the point here that I've written about in my book is sharing your projects with the people that you know on Facebook, and also asking them to share it with the people that they know. So I will now we will go through all the things that were helpful, and eventually we will close with the thing that worked the best, and that is of course then the ultimate winning strategy. But all the other stuff that also helped, you know. So you want of course to do the ultimate winning strategy, and then repeat it and enlarge it and repeat it as often as possible. But you might also want to do all those other things that I mentioned, because they were also very helpful in creating that result. Okay, then I have written that just being honest, you know, that is very important. That is also a bit from the work that I do for a living, you know. I sell greeting cards door to door, and I've visited all the people, or almost everybody in my city for 2 or 3 times by now, and I have to be honest about what I do and what we do as a company and what we do with the money. But because it would be a bit weird, you know, if there was anything that was not completely true, because uh, yeah, it would be a disaster, because I I see all those people in my city when I go for groceries, when I go into the city, into the center, and so on. I see those people all the time, so I have to be honest, and that's a very important thing, and that is also why we have published some bank statements on our blog, so that the people can see that we donate every month to various charities, and that we pay our staff, or for now we have like 4 volunteers and that we pay them for their work, and so on. And in being a writer, that is also very important, that you are honest to the people. I think I in a previous video I've made some comments about that my videos and recordings could be more professionally done and so on, and of course there is some truth in that, but the most important thing for the reader or the listener is that I am being open and honest about everything, and for you it's the same. Okay, then yeah, I have like in my previous video I've made a comment about fiction writers, but that was not meant to like offend anybody or something. I just made a point, and now we are a bit deviating from the material, but the point was that for non-fiction writers, the number of pages of their book is not that important. The important thing is the value that the reader gets from the book. So even if the booklet is like 25 pages short, and the reader buys it for like 10 euros, and in the little booklet they find 10 actions that they can do, and when they do them they get results from that. Let's say one of those actions might be for the next month save the half of your paycheck. Do whatever you have to do to save the half of your paycheck the next month. So if that means you're leaving your car and you are going on your bike to your work, or you're going walking to your work, or if it means that you sell your car and you always go to your work with a bike or walking, And so if you sell your car, you got some money and you don't have to pay taxes on your car anymore and don't have to pay insurance on your car anymore. So your costs are reduced and you have some money from the sale of your car. And if that means that you have to shut off your how do you call this, the subscription to your television, because television won't like help you to earn more. And if that means that you shut off your mobile telephone subscription, then you just do that. And if that means that you go to a supermarket to buy groceries, which is a bit more at a lower price than what you usually do, then you just do that. And if you are like going to the hairdresser every month, and you buy clothes every month, and you have like these little expenses where you go into the city and have yourself a coffee and some pie and so on, then you just don't do that anymore. You do whatever it takes that you need to do to save the half of your paycheck, and you do that, and then that is one of the suggested actions in that little short book of 25 pages or so. And then of course the result will be, let's say you earn $2,000 a month, that the result will be, it's almost like a guaranteed that the result will be that you will have $1,000 saved, the half. Or if it's like a bit difficult to change your life so dramatically, but you still do some of the things, that you will have like maybe $500 saved or 400, and you will still have the result from the suggested action. And and otherwise you wouldn't have that amount saved. So even if that action was on one page explained to you, and you did the action, you did the things, and your result was having $400 saved or 500 or 1,000, then just that one thing, that is the value to you as a reader. And so having the $400, $500 or 1,000 saved is of course more valuable to you than the couple of dollars that you paid for that booklet. And it didn't matter that the booklet was very short in the number of pages. But if you are so for non-fiction writers, the number of pages of the book doesn't really matter. What is most important is the value from the book that the reader gets and that they can do, and then get results from that. And if you are a fiction writer, then and you write made-up stories, like I call them. And by the way, there is nothing wrong with that. I am taught to always respect other people and respect other people's companies and other people's work. So even though they are like made-up stories, some of them become movies, and maybe I have enjoyed that movie and that made-up story because I've like seen this with that Hobbit and the Ring and the stuff, that movie, and I enjoyed that, and that was also a made-up story from a book from this writer. So there's nothing wrong with that, and they should keep on writing, of course, and I wish them all the success of the world. But for a fiction writer, the number of pages of the book is then more important. So because they have like mostly they have multiple characters and whole landscapes and sometimes other worlds and all that kind of things, and so it just takes more pages and more space to describe everything and so on. So that was my point, that for a non-fiction writer, someone like me who mostly writes from my life experience and from my professional life as a salesman, as a business owner or an entrepreneur, then the number of pages of the book is not that important. The value that is in the pages is the most important thing. So I hope I've kind of set that right. I am getting a bit thirsty, so I will quickly have some water. Maybe you want to grab like another cup of coffee or something. Okay, so now to get back to my book. The next point is one of the things that also helped to create that success, that I have donated most of my royalties to charities. So I've had my royalties paid out into the account of this foundation, the foundation Give It Life, and in that account of that charity there are like automatic transfers who are planned in it for every month, and from there with these automatic transfers donations are made to about 40 different charities, and most of them are here locally in our community. And then I've also published some bank statements where people can see that I've received royalties into that account, and that also that there are donations made every month from there to all those different kind of charities. So I think that it helps to show that you care about people who are who have diseases or who are struggling financially and so on. So you can also decide to give a part of the proceeds of your books to charities that you care about, and then after that, it is, I think, very important that you prove that. So you don't have to, like, well, I was going to say for privacy reasons, that you don't have to put your personal account on the web for everyone to see, but you can maybe you can always put some stickers on the things that you don't want people to see because for example you could put a sticker on the first digits of your number so that they only see the last 3 or 4 or something, and with that they know that it is your number, and then you can publish all your donations and your that you have received the royalty and donated part of that money. Or you can maybe do that on with PayPal, and then have your royalties paid out on your PayPal account, and then publish some statements of your PayPal account, and then no one will see your banking number and so on. Okay, so that's another thing that has helped, which is also a bit the same like the point before that, of being honest and open, or transparent, if you would like, and it helps your credibility a lot. So if you can show to the people that you do what you said you would, that helps a lot, and they can you show them that they can trust you, and that they know that you will do what you say. So that's kind of an important thing to do. Okay, then let's move on to the next point. I hope that the sound quality is okay. I don't expect it to be excellent, but I hope that it is okay, and that you can understand me clearly. Okay, so then the next point is to put 1 or more ebooks for free as a promotion for you and for your work. I've done this on our company website. You can, if you sign up for our newsletter, which is free, you can you then receive 5 free ebooks of me, and you can and also on the with the self-publishing companies with which I've published my books. I've also put some of the titles for free, so like some in Dutch and some in English, because I thought to myself, those people don't know me like in Switzerland or in America or in Africa. They don't know me there. They see my books, but they've never heard of me, and then it's a good introduction that they can read 1 or 2 of my books for free to get to know me a little better and to get to know my work a little better. And I think that is also a thing that helps, that has helped me, and I think that it will also help you. But obviously you cannot do that with paperbacks, but you can do that with ebooks and with audiobooks. And you can always, like I'm now doing, you can always record yourself with the camera on your laptop, and you just introduce yourself, and you tell a bit about yourself, and then you read a couple of chapters or a couple of pages from your book, and then you can post that video, which will then be a promotional video of you and your book. You can then post that video on YouTube and also on your Facebook fan page. So that's also another great idea for you. And of course, I've done all of these things, and that with the video making and the audiobook making, I am doing that right now in this period of time. And I recommend that you do that too. Okay, and yeah, the point was that a video like that could serve the same purpose as having a free audiobook, so that the people get to know you and get to know your book better. Okay, and now to the next point, and this is then the like you would say the biggie between the things, and it might be a bit different than you would expect it to be, and it is my work as a salesman. and I will explain to you why that has worked the best in selling my books. Because it's a bit unexpected, but I will explain to you why that is, and why that is the ultimate winning strategy for writers. Because when I'm going to work, when I'm going to sell, I take my bag with my sets of greeting cards, and then I go out and I have like this sheet of paper, which is a track sheet, and on them then I have to note which streets and which house numbers I have went to, and I have to like speak to 100 people in one day in about 8 hours, and I have to jot down who I've spoken to, and who did buy something and who didn't buy, and when someone wasn't home I leave it blank, and then I walk like 3 laps with the same streets. So if I start in the afternoon and I visit and I am visiting 3 or 4 streets, which is about 100 houses, about 100 people, then the people that are working, they are not at home. So after after 3 hours or so, I've made one lap. I visited those 100 addresses, and then maybe 50 people weren't home, so then I go on another time, and then at the end of the day more and more people are at home, and and then after that I also do a third round, so that I've spoken to about 100 people. And the thing that I did and still do is I have my pocket full of business cards always with me. And this in the beginning in 2015, this was of course very important then, because then nobody did know my second company. So when I would knock or ring the bell at someone's house and they open, and then I say hello and sorry to disturb you, I will only take a small minute of your time. My name is Jasmin from the establishment Hyro, and we are making an effort to help the people in our province, and we do this by providing jobs and by donating money to different kinds of charities. And if you would like to help out for one time, then you can buy this set of greeting cards for birthdays, and in one set you get 5 different birthday greeting cards plus the envelopes, and it is €5. And then if they say no thank you, because they already have greeting cards, or they never use greeting cards, or because they don't like me, or they don't like the company, or whatever reason it is. Then I say, well, thank you for your time. Yeah, here you have like my business card, and that is this one. And on it, on the other side, is my name, and below that is my function as independent advisor, and below that is the address, and below that is the email, and below that is our website. So I say thank you for your time. Here you have a little business card, so that you know who was at the door, and if you have some time left, you can take a quick look at our website. And sometimes I say if they are like maybe uh, maybe a little bit interested, uh, then I say something like I can't like take the whole store in my bag, so if you have some time you can look at our website and our e-store, and maybe something else than greeting cards is more to your liking. So if I like have a good day that I go out and I speak to 100 people, and I make these 3 rounds, and at the end of the day I've spoken to about 100 people, and about 8 or 10 have bought something, and that means that 90 or 92 have said no or no thank you, or just slammed the door in my face, which also sometimes happens. Then I have like about 90 times or maybe 80 times I've given someone a business card of mine, and sometimes some people don't want to take the business card for whatever reason, and then let's say that on that day 50 or 60 people do. So I in my work, in a working day, about 50 or 60 people will have my business card, and a part of that, a percentage of that, maybe half of them or maybe even more, will go on our website to take a look for more information. And some of course do that who are a bit like skeptical and so on, so they go to the website to check out if it really exists and so on. But anyway, I'll still have like 50 or 60 people who have my business card and and our web address, and if they go to our website, they will on the home page, so on the first page that they visit, if they just scroll down a bit, they will see my books. And also, if they think, well, okay, this is a good cause or a good establishment, they can go take a look at our e-store, which is another page of our website, and there they will see our greeting cards, our gift mug, and they will also see my books. And there are also, they will also have see they will see links to different stores where they can buy my books. For example, we have written if you would like to buy this book as an ebook, then click here, and then if they click there, like this new page opens, and then they are on the website of kobo.com, and they see all of my ebooks displayed there. And or if let's say if you want to double your sales and double your profits, then click here to get this book, and then they click on it and a new page opens, and then they are at my author spotlight at Lulu, and then there they can buy that book with print on demand as a paperback. So while I'm doing my work that I do, which is selling greeting cards for a living, by leaving my business cards to so many people, like 5 or 6 days a week, I'm also indirectly marketing my books with that. So let's say, for example, we pick a number of the people that I give my business card to, and that go on our website and that see my books. From those 100 people that I speak on a working day, let's say that the half of them does that, and so every working day 50 people go to our website because of my business card that I left to them, and they see my books because they are on our home page of our business website. And let's say I work 5 days a week, so that is every week that would be like 250 people that go to our website and that see my books, and which also helps maybe a bit is that they have seen me in real life, and that they've talked to me when I was at their door. And what also helps is that I've decided to, like I said, I've visited the people in our city for now maybe the 3rd time, and this will probably be for some people the 3rd time, for some the 4th time, because as a company we are now in our 4th year of existence. That also helps that I've decided to every year to make to go out selling in our city again. So every year again, so once a year. And this helps because they will see me more often, you know. So if we like make a simple calculation, I work selling those greeting cards, and I speak to 100 people a day. I leave my business card to 60 or 70 to them. About 50 of them visit our website, and on our homepage of our company they see my books. And I work 5 days a week. That's about 250 people a week. And if we multiply that with about 50 weeks a year, that would be like 12,500 people, I think, if I am doing this math right. That would be like, yeah, about 12,500 people a year that see my books. So that is why my work as a salesman is the ultimate winning strategy for writers, because in leaving my business cards to most of the people that I speak to, and because of a percentage of them perhaps have visit our company website, and on our homepage they see my books. So that's about like 12,500 people every year. So that is, I believe that is the thing that has helped the most to sell my books, and that is why that is the ultimate winning strategy for writers. And I thought about making this video today in the afternoon, and then I had some unexpected visit from my sister, and she had some good news. She is pregnant again. So, oh yeah, by the way, on the cover of this book that we are now talking about, you can see me and the first child of my sister on this little like a toy car, and it's a very cute cover. So that little girl is going to get a little sister or a little brother, I've heard today, and she was also here, and that was always is also a lot of fun when she's here. She's now like 10 months or something, or 10 or 11 months, and she's like learned to crawl, and it will soon she will learn to walk, and she has learned some words to say, and she has learned to say grandma and uncle and so on. So that was yeah, that was really joyous, you know, and it is good news. I'm very happy for my sister, and I have also two other sisters. They live in another city where my father lives. Because when my father when he remarried, my parents were divorced in well, many years ago. Shortly after that, we all came to the Netherlands. So when we were here, a few years later, my father also came to the Netherlands. then he was shot there on the battlefield, and he came to the Netherlands wounded, and here then they had, he was in the hospital here, and they had removed the bullet from him, and so that was very close. But he survived it, and then we had lived together. Our family was reunited, but that didn't last very long. So maybe then my parents divorced, which was yeah, it was terrible. I couldn't deal with that at all. So that was a bit of a tough time. I was also very disappointed because our family was reunited after so many years, and then they divorced. But what can you do about that? It's just it is the way that it sometimes goes, because if two people are having a relationship and after a while it doesn't work anymore and they are not happy together, then they go their separate ways. I think now, like in retrospect, or how you call it, if I look back on that, I think that because he just came from the war and the battlefield, and he has seen and experienced some terrible things, but he was not that it was very difficult and very tough for my father to get to get used to the normal life again. But and I think that is also a main reason why they divorced then. But well, he then eventually remarried, and so I got two other sisters because of that, and they both also have been pregnant and have been given birth. The one has a boy, and that's Leslie, and the others has had a girl. Her name is Sabina. Those are the names of my sisters. And then my father also had a son with his second wife. So I also got a brother, and now I'm kind of completely deviating from the theme of this recording. And I maybe I kind of forgot what I wanted to say, the points that I wanted to make. uh, maybe. Oh yeah, I was like telling you about today, and I wanted to share a good tip with you. And then I kind of kept on talking about my family. But uh, yeah, I have so I'm on my newest book, my 24th. I am on the cover with my niece, and today my sister came and told us that she's pregnant again. So that little princess that you see in the cover will have a brother or a sister within about 9 months or so. And I have I went out selling today. I went out working after we had eaten together, and actually it was a bit late to go out, but I did it anyway, and then I made 2 sales, and I passed out some business cards because in this neighborhood those are all new movers, so they've just recently made or completed those houses, so those are all new people that are coming to live there. So I had also uh, uh, made that yesterday. That is for people who have bought something from us. They as a follow up, they get a greeting card in which we thank them that they bought something from us, and that they are helping us with that to do the things that we do, those 3 things which are in our USP, which are to help people to provide work, to provide jobs, and to donate to 40 charities in our community, and to help people to live a richer life. And the last thing we do with our newsletter and this free ebook of mine, which is about personal finance. So then they get that greeting card in which we thank them, and they get another which is it's like how do you say that, uh, customer card. Yeah, it's something like a customer card. Maybe I have one here, and it looks like this. See, with our logo, and here is our website, and on it says that they with this customer card they have a 10% discount for a lifetime. So they get also one of that, and they also get like a little candy, a little sweet one like this. And sometimes when because we donate so many charities, we get letters and greeting cards and newsletters and so on from those charities. And then sometimes I also put a newsletter of one of those charities with the other stuff, and then we wrap it in like I don't have that wrapping paper here anymore, but it could be like this, which is a newsletter or a magazine from one of the charities that we support, and then it's wrapped in, and sometimes the other people deliver that because they deliver our marketing and so on. But now, as I was passing by, I've taken 4 or 5 of those follow-up things, follow-up thank you presents, and I've put them in their mailboxes. So what I did actually in that hour and a half was selling, and also a bit marketing, because some people weren't home. And then I have this first edition of our newspaper, which looks more like a folder because it's just the first edition. But anyway, I will make the second edition much better than that. But that on it and in it is information about us, also a bit about my books, and where they can visit our website and our other website and so on. So I also did a bit marketing, and then because I've delivered those thank you presents, I also did a bit of follow-up with our customers, and because with some of those people that are new movers there and that didn't buy, I've leaving my business card with them, and that is like in one way looking at it, it is professional selling. I think it is in these times, you know, when all kinds of things are happening. It's just a good thing to do. If you are in sales, just leave your business card, that the people always know who was at the door, where your company is, and where they can find your website. It's really the best thing to do. And then if it's also a bit in another, if you look at it another way, it's a bit of promotion or indirect marketing for my books, because maybe they don't use greeting cards, but maybe they do read books or ebooks or listen to audiobooks, and if they have my business card and they visit our company website, on the home page they will very soon see my books. So in that hour or hour and a half, I still did some things to move forward into achieving my goals. And the tip or the great idea is uh, 1 hour of work is always better than 0 hour. And you might want to jot that down, because before I went out working and selling, I could have easily thought to myself, well, it's now like past 5:30 in the evening, and it's soon it will be dark outside, and when I get to the field, that's where I sell, that certain neighborhood and those streets, it will be even later. And so why would I go out for just 1 hour to work? How many customers do I expect to find, and what do I expect to earn in that little amount of time? And I could have made more excuses to not do it, to just stay at home, and but I didn't. I went out anyway. Because like I said, and that you probably have written down, that 1 hour of work is always better than 0 hour. And like I explained to you before this, in that hour I still did about 3 or 4 very important things to move myself and my business, and the sales of my books forward, because we are now talking about writing and selling books. You'll have to how do you say, apply all the things that I say to your book selling. So you might want to remember that. And then there is one other thing, and I have written a book or a booklet about it, because it's not that long, and if I translate it to you, the title would be the pen that will yield you $100,000 profit. And the main idea is that you should find a company that prints like texts and images and designs on products such as pens and mugs and so on. And if you then you have them print your logo or your web address, the 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 address of your website on that pen, or preferably both the logo and the address of your website. And if you like, just as an example, if you would have them print your logo and the address of your website on about 140,000 pens, and you have them then print that on them, and then have those pens delivered to you, and then you go out and you sell those pens, or you hire some people, and with that you create one or two jobs, and you have them sell these pens for you, and you can then decide that, for example, the half of that will go to local charities, and you then you or your salespeople go visit the people, and they sell them these pens, and then they say, well, hello, sorry to disturb you, I will only take a minute of your time. My name is so-and-so, from the company so-and-so, or organization so-and-so, and we are doing this to help the people and the charities in our community, and if you would like to help out one time, you can buy this pen, and it's only $1, for example, and the half of that will go to this charity that is here locally placed in our city, on our town, or our community, or a number of charities that are known to the people in your community. And then when you or your salespeople, or both of you, have sold all of those pens, all the 130 or 140,000, you will have made $100,000 profit, because for the printing of your logo and your website address on the pen, it would only cost you like 20,000 or maybe $30,000, so you will still have $100,000 in profits left. And if you give like 25% or 50% to those charities, you will still have $75,000 or $50,000 left. But one of the, and then you could repeat that as often as you would like, and a lot of people have $1 in their pocket, and a lot of people want to help out, and they will gladly buy this pen from you or from your salespeople. So it is absolutely saleable, and it's absolutely working, because I've proven that it works. By now I have sold about 50 pens with my logo on them, but that the amount is not that high, because they are not my priority. You know, I sell greeting cards, sets of greeting cards, and then when someone says no thank you, and then I can ask, would you like to help out by buying this pen for €1, and then with that I have some extra sales from the people that wouldn't buy originally, that wouldn't buy the greeting cards. So it's like some extra sales for me, and it works. But we are now talking about about our books and about selling our books. And if you want to do some field marketing, like I've described to you, then you can very easily start doing that. And then of course, when they have the pen and your company website is on it, and they go to the internet and they look it up, somewhere on the home page preferably, they will also see your books. So that is also a great idea for you to boost your book sales. And so how is this recording going up until now? Is it? Have you made some notes? Is it valuable to you? Can you easily also do the things that I have done and that have helped? And yeah, that was also a great idea to help sell more books. You can for that you can like you could you could start a foundation to do that. That kind of field marketing with the pens and your website on it, so that the people will go there and get to know you and your books. You can here in the Netherlands you can start a foundation at the notary. You can also go to the Chamber of Commerce and start a little company that sells products like door to door, and then I'm not like asking you to start a little company to do that like full time. Maybe you are having just an ordinary job and you have written some books and you would like then to sell more. Then you could go just to the Chamber of Commerce and start like a little company that sells things, products door to door, and then you make yourself or have someone make you a website, but it is very easy to make one with these here in the Netherlands anyway, with these providers of websites in which you have like a website editor and that you can add things and write things and make a website the way you want it to. Then you order some pens. You don't have to start with 140,000. You just start with 100 or 500 and have them print your logo and your website address on them, and on your website say who you are, what you do, and what the charities are that you support, that you donate to, and then list your products, display them, and display your books, and that you can have on your home page, on the first page of your website, so that you know if someone buys a pen and they visit your website, that they will see your books, and you can go out selling those pens on a Saturday, just 1 day a week, or a half day a week, maybe on a Sunday, and you can do that, or you can have someone else selling it, but you yourself will probably be the most enthusiastic about that. But anyway, if you are further along the way, you can then hire some other people to also do some of that for you. But that is also a good way to increase the sales of your books, and to get the people to know you a little bit better, because they have seen you in real life and spoken to you and so on. So that is, and that I've also I'm doing that myself, and it works, of course. And I've shown in my previous video all the sales that I made, which are here behind me, and that I'm selling like 39 months in a row, with sales every month of those 39 months. So thank God for that. And then I've shown also that, like in 2016, the most sales I made in 1 month was about 60, and then in 2017 my best month was making 86 sales in 1 month, and last year in 2018, in my best month, I made 103 sales. So my sales are gradually improving, and they will for you, they will also. Okay, so that is also another great idea or strategy. It's a strategy because it's not, because it is working in real life, and I'm proving to you that it works. So it's a strategy, a proven strategy. And now I see that this video is a bit longer than I had planned, but I don't think that matters, because I've shared with you some great stuff about selling your books, and I know that it will help you to also sell more of your books. And like I said, we would after the main points from my most recent book, we would go through this interview that I did with this guy that I know, and I've also shared with you that you don't have to wait for the traditional press and the journalist to go and to come to you and to interview you. Just get someone that you know and who likes you and trusts you and is interested in what you do, and have them interview you, or find maybe 10 of or 5 or 10 of those kind of people, and then have them interview you, and then you can post and share your interviews with the rest of the world. And maybe they won't like call it an official interview, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all, because the whole point of the interview is to let the readers of that interview that didn't know anything about you before, to let them know you a bit better. So you can achieve that with someone that you know, and you don't have to wait for the press to interview you. Yeah, and like I had said, the interview is in Dutch, and I will have to translate it as we go along. So it will go a bit slower from now on. But I hope that you don't mind that. Just get yourself another cup of coffee or whatever you are drinking, and then we can get started. Okay, the first question is, who are your 3 favorite writers? And my answer is Brian Tracy, and Jim Rohn, and Dan S. Kennedy. And aside from the interview, I would recommend to you to read the books of those 3 people, if you haven't already. Okay, then the second question is, what do you think is the art of writing? And my answer is telling a story, and preferably a story that helps people. And the third question is, how do you differentiate yourself from other writers? And my answer is by writing more books. As you probably know, like I told you, I've written 24 books, and I've translated 11 of them. So that's that's already like 35 titles, and I have also made bundles of them. I've bundled my first series, and I've made a Lux edition from that bundle, so that's also another title. And I've made a bundle from my second series of books, and then I've also made a series out of all of my business books and books about selling and owning my own business, and being an entrepreneur. So there, then you have more bundles and more titles, and that's also something that you can also do. And yeah, to get back to the answer that I gave him is by writing more books. By now I've started writing a title for my 5th series. So that would be like about 50 books in total. And also by donating the most part of my royalties to different charities, and proving that I do so with publishing the bank statements at our blog, and also by doing most of the work myself, writing, translating, and with self-publishing. I'm also my own publisher, and I've told you that with my work and passing out the business cards, that I'm also indirectly marketing my books. And also by just being honest. By being honest, also about embarrassing things, and embarrassing experiences that I've written about in my 10th book, which is called The Things That You Don't Want to Know, and especially that thing about the legendary sock. So if you want to laugh your ass off, you should read that one. And so by just being honest about embarrassing things, and also about flops, but I don't know if flops is also an English word, so meant by it is like failures. For example, I've started my first company in 2012, and although that was like an investment company, and also even though I had like a great financial system, and for investing the money of myself and of other clients, and even though I paid out the 10% return that I had promised, and even a bit more, and they got also a bonus return of 2.5%. So it was in total it was 12.5%. So I actually over delivered, and I did what I promised, but I there was not that much money in it, so that when I made profits that I could live off it. So and because I couldn't make a living out of it, I eventually had to close that company. So now looking at that whole experience, you could say that was a flop or a failure of mine. And then of course, after that I started my second company, and now I'm earning much more than I did with the first one. But let's say we could call that a failure of mine, and I'm just honest about that. Just that's how it went, and I've also written about that in some of my books. So just being honest. Okay, and now question number 4. How do you choose the genre in which you write? And my answer is I mostly write about experiences from my personal life and from my professional life, from my business life. So the genre is mostly or always non-fiction. And then question number 5. How do you get ideas for your books? And my answer is from my personal life, my life experiences and how my life went, and from my work as a salesman and as an entrepreneur. And the next question is number 6. Is the first sentence of a book that you're going to write important? And then my answer is yes. The first part of a book that you are writing is very important because people can read the first part of your book as a preview for free, and so with that first part of your book, you have to get the people interested so that they want to read the rest of the book. So the beginning of your book is actually very important. Okay, and the next question, question number 7. Which book about writing should a starting writer read? Which would I recommend to them? And then I recommend the Become a Writer Guide. That is a bundle that I've written. For example, one of the titles in that bundle is called Tits, How Do I Write a Book? And in that I show you how I write a book from beginning to end, and as I write and go through it, I explain all the things to you. And in the bundle I've also added my my autobiography, so that you have an example of how you can write your own autobiography. And I have also added some other titles in which I've made books out of my journals, and how you should also keep a journal, which will help you to make books out of it and out of your life experiences that you write in your journal. And so this bundle with all those books in it, I think is very helpful for someone who is a starting writer. And I also recommend another one, and that is actually the book that we are that I've been talking about in this video, which is the ultimate winning strategy for writers, which is more about what will help you to have your books self-published worldwide, and what will help you to sell your books. So this title, together with that other bundle, I think that together they can help a starting author or a starting writer to go to move forward with their writing, and to have their books out there for sale, and also to help them to really sell their books and earn the royalties that I've earned, and then just repeat all of those things that have worked, and then to enlarge them and to earn even more. Okay, and now question number 8. How do you get yourself into the right mood to start writing a book? And my answer is most of the time I just go and sit and roll up my sleeves, and I start writing with my notes handy close to me, like I do have now. And that it always helps if I before that if I have went out for a run, if I have jogged for an hour or so, or a half an hour, and because after, or if I have listened to music before that, because then I am more relaxed and more clear, and then it flows a little better. Okay, and then even though the guy that was interviewing me isn't a journalist, it's still a great interview, and the people that are reading it are learning more about me and about my books, and the people who are starting authors or who want to start writing also get some good value from this interview, even though the guy is not a journalist. So you see, it doesn't really matter that much. And if you want to want to be interviewed, you should just find some people who will interview you, and then get the interview out there in front of people. And if you have to, just start your own newspaper, man, because I've also written a book, and if I translate it to you into English, the title would be Action as a Strategy. Action as a strategy, or taking action as a strategy. So you see, you just get busy. You start doing it. It is not called waiting as a strategy. For, like, I've now finished my book. I've self-published it. I have I got this promotional things from the self-publisher. I have these press releases. I've sent out the press releases, to all the local media that I could find, that I could find, and now I'm like waiting for a response. No, 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 no. Action, action, action. You take action. You just find some people that you know, that like you, that are interested in what you're doing, and you ask them to interview you. You can ask it as a favor. So that they just do this thing, and maybe it's some other time you do something for them, or you just ask it as something that as friends would do for one another, for each other. You know, you just ask him or her to do that for you, which then would mean that you don't pay them, but you can also afterward, like, give them a thank you, or buy them some flowers, or buy them a present, or like give them some money if you want to, however you want to do it. That is completely your choice. But the the reporters and the journalists that are working for newspapers, for local newspapers, they are like getting paid by an hour, I think, if they don't work on a commission. So if you get an interview with them, and they are and you're doing the interview with them, they are asking you the questions and you're answering them, and then they also get paid for it. So if you find someone that will do an interview to them, you can pay them a bit for it if you want to. That is completely your choice. Okay, so now we go to the, well, I didn't say it then, but maybe I can add it now. Uh, for 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 some books of mine, it has taken a bit longer than that. Some of them I've written from just my memory, so it was just sitting down and rolling up my sleeves and starting to write, like my books Victory and Victory the Second and Victory the Third. It was just writing down how my life went from when I was a little boy living in Bosnia, and from then on how it went. And some of the books only came into existence after a period of time, like my book Moneymaker. That was only after years of experience in having my own business. And my first book, Build Your Fortune, about the patented financial system that I invented, and that was my first book, and that has like taken years of study, of learning, of trying, of saving, of investing, of reading, and eventually also having my own company and investing for other people. and thinking and searching and so on how to do it more systemized, better, and with less time and so on. That one has taken a lot of years of time and of experience for it eventually became my first book. So with a lot of my books, it is just a matter of like having an idea or an experience or an idea and an observation and seeing that something works, and then elaborating on that or adding some things to it, and then making a book out of it, which then goes a little more simpler. And with some of them it was just like sitting down, rolling up my sleeves and writing how all those years were for me. With those two ways, it was a bit simpler, and the other time, like with my first book, it has really taken years before it became a book. But but if you are like a starting writer, or you have only written one book or so, I recommend that you do what I say in my answer to this question, which is you sit down, you roll up your sleeves, and you just write down how like the last year went for you, or the last 2 years, and then you would very in a very simple way and very easily you will have written another book. And if it's a bit a long book, you can like make it into parts, like the first and the second and the third part, like I have done. So that is also a bit the answer to the question is actually a bit of advice about writing, and I hope that it helps you to write more. Okay, and then the ninth question. What fears did you have to overcome? And I answer like you know, I've survived a coma once in my life many years ago, and I'm not that very fearful of things. But I did had doubts. Like with my victory books, my autobiography, I had doubts about that. I was wondering who the hell in the world is waiting for my life story in a book. So I was having doubts about writing my autobiography, because I didn't imagine that there were people wanting to know how my life went and so on. And with some of the things, I was also not particularly proud of them, like when I was in puberty, that I made some trouble, and that I started drinking alcohol, and also smoked some of that funny stuff, you know, and that after that, of course, I left all of that stuff behind me, but still, it was like years of my life, and I'm not particularly proud of that. So, uh, and then to write about that and to share it, and I just I was just asked that, thinking to myself, who the hell would want to know that and read that. Uh, but uh, I have I watched because yeah, it was especially in my puberty years, it was kind of a mess, you know, and that my parents separated or divorced, and I couldn't handle that at all, and that also got me like drinking more and so on, and then eventually also hanging out with some with the wrong crowd, like you say. Um, yeah, and all of that together, it was a bit of a mess, you know. So I was like thinking to myself, who the hell would want to know that and read that and so on. So I had quite some doubts about that. And then I was watching this video one time about he's called TD Jakes, and he's like this guy who has a church, and I sometimes I listen to sermons, you know. I believe in that in an intelligence, but I don't necessarily follow a religion. But I was listening to his sermon, and then he said that God will make a message out of your mess. And then that was a bit of encouraging to hear, and then I thought like, and maybe it could like help someone, you know. I did make like an ass out of myself a lot of times, and you know, wasted a lot of time and so on, but I did get through it, and I survived it, and I left all of the shit behind me, and I'm really now working to make something out of myself, and then I thought maybe this it could like help some people to make better choices, and to also get through some things. So that was encouraging, and then I just wrote my victory books, and then which was like a bit of a surprise to me, on Kobo, where I have published them as ebooks. Those victory books of mine are the ones that are the most read, which are the best selling with the subscription of Kobo, the Kobo Plus, and yeah, it's a bit funny how things can go. Okay, and then question number 10, which mistakes have you made? And my answer is that I didn't start earlier, because years ago I already had some of my journals full with life experiences and things. So then I could have made books out of them years ago, many years ago actually. And another thing, there are still some spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes in my books, but that's not a big issue. And I also should have made audiobooks and videos much earlier. And I should have made a fan page for the readers of my books much sooner than I did. And another thing is I should have self-published much earlier with Publish Drive and Streetlib. I did that just recently, and this week my books will be available in more than 500 bookstores worldwide. So I should have done that much earlier. And then the next and last question, the 11th question. Excuse me, is earning money an important motivation to write? And my answer is, if writing is what you do for a living, if that is your work, then of course it is very important. But if writing is something you do as a second business, or like I do, then money is not that important, because then it doesn't have to feed you, you know, and then it is less important. And sharing knowledge and experiences to help people, and donating part of the royalties to charities, and having a bit of marketing for yourself and for your work, or for your business that you do for a living, and leaving a legacy for when you are not living anymore, after you die, to leave a legacy, are then as equally important as is the money. So that is the interview, and the guy who interviewed me is Mehmet Bal, and he's a hard worker. He's a soccer. He's a bit fanatical about soccer. He also plays it and watches it on the television. And he's also like a family man, having started a family, and yeah. So he was kind enough to do this interview with me, and I think it is as good as it would be with a reporter or a journalist. And that it is for people who don't know me, it is great to get to know me and to know my books, and for starting authors or people who want to write, there are some great ideas and strategies in the answers of my interview that they can use for their writing in their books. Okay, and that was about it for this recording. The video or audio book or audio recording, what it eventually will be, is a bit longer than I have planned, but maybe that's a good thing. As a writer, you have gotten some really good strategies and actions that you can take to sell more books and to reach more people and to earn more with your books. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you made some good notes, and if you get this as an audiobook, I suggest that you listen to it a couple of more times, maybe once a month or something. To keep yourself on track in taking action on these strategies, so that you experience more success with your writing and your books, and so that you also repeat that success and enlarge it. So in closing up, thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you for your time. Thank you, of course, for trusting me enough to go out and to do all of the things that I have taught you in this recording. I have done all of those things, and I've experienced some success with it. Like I said to you, I've earned about 380 euros in royalties, and in about 9 months or so. Maybe that my books were on sale for a longer period of time, but oh yeah, that's also one of the things in my book, the ultimate winning strategy for writers, that result was not because of my books were on sale for such a long time, because they are not. They are only on sale for about maybe 2 years or so. So it is not because of the passing of time and that they are around. And that people are a bit familiar with it and starting to trust you and your work. It was not to be explained because of that, because the time, that period of time, those 2 years, is too short for that. Maybe that if they were on sale for 10 or 20 years, then that would be a factor contributing to that success, but in this case it wasn't so. But I've told you all of the things that I did and that I'm doing and that I'm going to do, and all of the things that have contributed to my success as an author. I've explained to you, and you can do as well and experience the same success. And after you've done that once, you can repeat that as often as you want to, and then you can also enlarge it, like with this strategy that I've given you with selling those pens, or having someone selling them for you, and having those people visiting your website, because that is on those pens, and on your website they will see your books. And that's a great strategy, because if you are just like the people, they will keep your pen, you know, they will put them with other pens, or they will use them to write with it, but they will keep it. And with your flyers and your folders and your other printed materials, those will go into the garbage sooner or later, but they will keep your pen. So it is a really good thing, and easily to do, to market your books and to sell more often too. And so I seriously encourage you to start small with that, to increase the sales of your books, but only after you have done all the other things that I have mentioned before. Yeah, and always keep in mind that 1 hour of work is always better than 0 hour. So 1 hour of work on Saturday and 1 hour of work on Sunday is always better than no work at all. You might also want to start practicing that one, and that can also help you to increase your sales. Okay, I've shown you that I have prepared for this with my notes and with that interview, and that I've shared some great strategies with you, and also even though the interview is still in Dutch, that I have translated it for you as we went along, and that I also have given you this great cost-effective strategy to get your own interviews, and perhaps also get your own newspaper, and make yourself the front page news as often as you want to. That might also help you to sell more books. I hope that the sound quality was good, and yeah, if you have like some questions or something, you can always send me an email or reach me on this on this fan page that I made on Facebook. It is called Jasmin Books and Fans at Facebook, and you can always visit me there. I've written that I would be available for some live chatting or messaging on Sundays at this Jasmin Books and Fans page on Facebook. So we can get in touch there. And before closing, I would like to say that if you want to read some more books of me, perhaps the two that I have suggested that starting authors should read, you can find them as a paperback at lulu.com, and then you just search my name, and there you will find my author spotlight, and there you will find my my paperbacks. And if you prefer to read as ebooks, then you can go to kobo.com, and there you can search my name, and there you will find my books as ebooks. And it will take some time from now, but eventually I will have my books also as audiobooks, and you can find them at gumroad.com /Jasmin. So thank you very much, and until next time, bye bye.